snakeskin on headers, holes in a perfectly good console, operational information at your fingertips. All this and more are tightly packed in this edition of Motorhead Garage.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Motorhead Garage. You know, Sam, one of the big problems guys have when they build hot rods or have a motorcycle, or especially trucks like this, got a big turbocharger in there, is heat under the hood or hot exhaust pipes.
Exactly, and those hot exhaust pipes will burn your leg on a motorcycle if you're not careful, like I got burned on your Cobra.
Hey, anybody's got a Cobra, I can tell you, they all have snake bite marks.
That's right, over the side pipe. But also, you get a turbocharger, the cast iron turbine section, that gets up 1,600 degrees, a lot of heat under the hood, you melt cables and wires. There's ways to control that.
It sure is, and especially on motorcycles, when you got those headers sticking out, they're chrome or whatever, invariably, you're gonna touch them with your leg, burn your pants or whatever. Well, there's a way around that, and that is with a wrap. And I got several of them right here. These come in different colors. These are from Xtreme Parts World. We're going to show you how to properly do these wraps. Now, a lot of guys will wrap their pipes, you know, but it doesn't look very good because they don't know how to do it right.
And there is a trick to it. There's a great way to do it, make it look really neat.
And if you know the trick, it really looks good. And we got Jason Pope over here who can show us exactly how to do that. And Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Tell us how you do this now.
Well, what you do is you wrap it, you start up by the head.
Yeah.
And then you wrap it around tight.
Now, I notice right here, though, you've got the stuff right in the water.
Exactly. You do it dry, it's just going to be a little harder to wrap. I mean, it's basically fiberglass. It's going to mold around whatever curve you have in the pipe and then dry that way.
And also, it makes it a little bit more flexible, right?
Right.
So when you're wrapping this on here now, you get it started, you lay it over top of itself.
Right.
And then you put a clamp on it. You want me to hold something for you there?
Yeah. If you don't mind, hold it right there.
Hold it and pull and keep it tight.
Hold it tight right there.
What you got there? Like stainless steel?
Yeah, stainless steel zip tie.
Okay.
This is one of our black ones. They come in black, chrome, or red.
All right, now once you have that done, then it's just a matter of going ahead and wrapping this around. And what do? You usually overlap it, what, about a quarter, half inch, something like that?
About a quarter inch.
Quarter inch?
Yeah, it's actually, the new rat wrap's going to have guides so that you know where to wrap. So wherever the design starts, you want to overlap right there.
Now this is your brand, this is called Rat Wrap. And if you look at this closely, you can see that it's got a pattern like a snakeskin on there. That's cool.
Yeah, this is a new process we started for the rat wrap. And it's actually a new way of coloring the wrap, which is, once we're finished, is going to be a longer lasting design.
Here, let's go ahead and wrap this around here. Now, you can get this in different colors, right?
Right.
And if somebody is wanting to do some custom stuff,
if they want something custom, just contact us and we can do whatever designing they want. And whatever color they want as well.
Then all they have to do is get a hold of you, tell them what they want.
Exactly.
And then write the check, right? Exactly. Anyway, this works out pretty good. Well, let's go ahead, we'll continue on this, and then we'll see what this is going to look like. Okay, Jason, well, we got it done here. Now, we did it the hard way. We did it probably the way a lot of you guys are going to do it out there. We did it while it's on the bike. You know, if you want, one of the easier ways to do it is to take off the pipes, then wrap it, then put the pipes back on. But
exactly.
Hey, who says we do things the easy way around here, right?
It's kind of like reading directions.
Exactly. So you've got this pattern here, and if you look what we did here, we wrapped it so if you look closely, you can see how the pattern follows itself right on down there. It looks like one continuous pattern. Of course, then we secured it with these stainless steel tie wraps on here.
Exactly.
So what else you got coming?
Well, we've got a new graffiti wrap. The rat wrap line, which this is going to carry all kinds of designs like skulls and barbed wire and tribal flames and pretty much whatever your head can imagine, we can pretty much do now.
Somebody wants to have a special type of design, customize it for them, right?
They can. All they do is contact us, or we're adding to the website to where they can pick designs and colors.
Yeah.
And we're going to allow them to check out right there and customize what they want online.
That's good. All right, well, you can see how nice this looks. And, of course, it's wet right now. As soon as you fire it up, of course, that'll dry it out real quick, but it'll be on there in good shape. And that's going to keep somebody from burning their legs here in the future.
Exactly.
Anyway, we got a lot more coming. Stay with us.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. And by Low Car Performance Products, quality plain and simple. And by Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. And by Al's Liner, the world leader in truck bed liners and protective coatings.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, you never know where you're going to find Sam and me. Right now, we're sitting in about a $250,000 motor coach.
Absolutely. And this coach, by the way, is compliments of Alliance Coach down there in Wildwood, Florida. They let us use this baby for the TV show.
They are brave people, you know.
Yeah, well, they may not get it back.
Anyway, we're riding in style right now, but speaking of riding, that's why we're in here. You know, people that have these type of vehicles, motor coaches or whatever, one of the first things they're always concerned about, and I don't care how much they spend for their coach, they're always concerned about fuel mileage and the cost of fuel mileage on it.
And getting fuel mileage, it's all about the driver, learning the coach, how the thing has a sweet spot, where the engine torque is, all that kind of stuff. And if you look here at this beautiful analog gauge setup this comes with, that's nice, but hard to decipher all that information, so we got the fix.
It is, and that is from Silverleaf Electronics, and they have one of the neatest things I've seen for a long time. These gauges here will give you a certain amount of information, but this is what I like to call driver control.
Right. Now they have a complete panel that sits in here, takes care of that, but that's a big install. So we're going to show you something easy where you just plug into the diagnostic connector. We got it on a tablet here, but you can actually overlay it on your rear view camera.
Exactly. Now, what you need is a lot more information in order to determine what is the best driving sweet spot on this thing. And that's what you're trying to find, and that's what this is going to give you. If you notice, it gives you a lot of information here. It'll give you your turbo boost right here. This is your coolant temperature down here. This little gauge will cycle through various things. It'll give you your road speed. It could give your oil pressure, cruise speed. Of course, this is what they call the RMPG, or rolling miles per gallon. This is like an instant miles per gallon as you're going down the road.
But it averages it and takes into consideration all the things. By the way, you can configure this screen any way you want. You can set alarms. And here you've got like distance and total distance on the coach, fuel gallon burn, you got your speed, you got memory, you can save all these files. It's really a neat product.
It is. It gives you a lot of information on here. But the key for all that information is, again, for you as a driver to find that sweet spot, where this coach likes to run and where it's going to get its best fuel mileage. And once you find that, then you're going to be a lot happier driver.
We call that right foot control. Maximize the torque. Torque's what pushes you down the road. If you're in too low a gear and you're spinning the engine up high, you're going to see your turbo boost go up, your RPM's going to go up, it's going to sound great, like you get a lot of power, but your torque is going to go down, and when the boost is up and the RPM's up and the torque's down, your fuel economy takes a dive with it. Get into the next tallest gear, get out of the throttle a little bit, maximize the engine torque, which you can read right there.
Yeah, and once you determine where this engine likes to run and what torque range it is, that's where you want to keep it. Once you do that, you're going to get better gas mileage.
Sure. And you got a gauge right here. This is a bar graph, and it's going to correlate the torque and the engine speed, road speed, all that stuff. And of course, nothing's happening because we're not going down the road. But once you get used to keeping everything together, keeping your torque up, your RPM down, and your road speed at just the right speed, you'll know where you're going to get the best fuel economy, and it's easy to read.
Exactly. And of course, if you go up here, what this is going to do is, again, there's a lot of gauges around, and this is part of it as well. This will tell you how many miles you have to empty, how many gallons you've used, also your recent miles per gallon on here, distance driven, fuel gallons used.
You're monitoring your power system, 13.9 volts, gives you a clock. All kinds of great information, easy to read because it's digital. You don't have to sit there and look at needles. It's really a pretty interesting thing. And this is easy to install. You just plug it into your connector under the dash that they use for diagnostics. You can cable it to your rear view camera. You can see it all right there. Or you can go big gun and put the whole panel in.
Yeah, and this will pay for itself in pretty short order because once you find out where you can drive it, you're going to be a happy camper.
Right, and it'll help you on maintenance, fuel economy, make your coach experience real neat.
So take a good look at it. If you want more information on that, what you need to do is just go to their website, check it out. Meantime, we're coming up to a break. Stay with us. We got a lot more coming here on Motorhead Garage.
This week's OPGI restoration tip is going to be focused on the underneath of the car. A lot of details that can be done underneath the car that a lot of people overlook. We all can see the outside of the car, the paint, the body, it looks beautiful. But underneath, there's a lot that you can do here to really maximize that restoration. You take a few seconds and you look around at some of the things that we've done in here. Not only is it aesthetically pleasing, but some of it's for safety reasons. If you look at the emergency cables, we got all new cables and hooks holding that in place. We got all new brake line and fuel line clips holding everything in place there. A lot of components that a lot of people overlook. This is an important part of the car when you're detailing it because it's what's keeping you on the ground. You know, we got a lot of components throughout the whole car that are listed within our catalog. James was talking about some stuff up front that is a pretty good restoration tip. You might want to listen to this.
Yes, absolutely, Tony. There's a lot of coatings involved underneath this car. There's satin black, there's gold cadmium plating, there's silver zinc. There's a lot of time and detail put into the fasteners being correct, the clips being the correct clip and color, as well as stuff like tie rods. You know, tie rods come just regular cast, and they're going to rust if you don't coat them with some kind of paint or some kind of good coating to keep them nice. Same thing goes for just about anything underneath here. You're going to want to spend the time to make sure that it's coated and that it's correct.
Yeah, those are some really good points, James. And you know, there's a lot to take on underneath this car when you're doing your restoration. But you know, go through those pages of our catalog or go on our website, and you can get all these components, all these clips, all these screws, gas tanks, emergency brake cables, all these details. And that's this week's OPGI restoration tip.
Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
This is just cool as heck, ain't it?
Boy, it's really slick.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, if you're into RVs and you want to do some RVing, this is something you may want to take a look at. This is from Trail Manor. Only 29 feet long, and you can tow it with a small SUV.
That's right. Thing weighs 2,900 pounds. It tows easily, real low profile, slide through the air. Going to be good on fuel. Take your normal gas mileage, and for a 100-mile tow, you're probably going to burn another gallon or so. It's really a pretty interesting trailer.
It sure is, but what's even better, though, is this can pop up in only about 2 minutes. Let's show you. Okay, folks, this is what I want to see is raising this thing up. And we got Ed Lytle here from Trail Manor, who really designs and makes sure these things are all built right, right?
Yeah, we try to, yes.
Okay, I want to see this thing go up. Can we make it happen?
Yes, we can. Todd, you want to come in here and show us how this
We got his helper in here, and here he goes. Now, Ed, the important thing on this thing is you say it only takes 2 minutes, but I hear something else, too. You raise it up. If it's raining, you don't get all the insides wet.
Yeah, it actually stays dry inside. It does not let any water moisture get in on anything inside your camper.
Now, he raised that up very easily. I mean, it looks like he picked it up. I mean, how heavy is that?
It's a few 100 pounds up there, but it's got some torsion bars underneath of it that actually help raise it up.
So it takes very little effort in order to raise it up.
It's just a little bit of lift to get it to come up.
That's amazing. My God, you got half of it up already.
Yes.
This is this is absolutely amazing. He did the same thing back there. He just
Yeah.
so just a young lady can do it, right?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. It's just as long as you get the leverage and pull it up, it comes up fairly easy.
Boy, that is impressive. Well, we didn't put a stopwatch on him, Ed, but I swear to God, that's pretty darn fast.
Yes.
Ed, this is impressive on the inside. Yes. Now, this all worked out very smoothly. I guess it's got battery power on board, right?
Yes, it does. It has a 12-volt marine deep cycle battery, just like a normal RV. It has a converter in it. It actually has 55 amps of power. So it's really set up to be a standard RV once it's open and ready to camp.
All right, you've got a bedroom there in the back, and then, of course, you got a bathroom in there. I couldn't believe the bathroom. It folds out. It's pretty nice size. You got a john in there or a toilet?
Yes, we have a recirculating toilet. The bathroom walls actually are fold-down walls. Since it folds down, we go in and open them up, they lock in, and you get a standard bathroom. And
then, of course, you come out into the kitchen area. What do you have in there?
It's standard kitchen. You got your refrigerator, your sink, you got your stove, a 3-burner stove. It is just set up that you have all the amenities of a regular RV.
And the stove is what, gas-powered?
It's a gas-powered stove, yes.
What about heating and cooling on this?
Well, right now it comes with a standard 20,000 BTU furnace. This one has an optional air. It's a 13,500 BTU air conditioner. It has a power vent to recirculate your air. It has plenty of lighting. It has some fluorescent lights in the back, which are bright, and it is well equipped.
Let's see what Sam is doing.
The other things have all kinds of nice windows on them. If you look right here, we've got some exterior lighting, always great in a campground. Here's the exhaust for a 20,000 BTU gas furnace. That'll keep you good and warm. And you know, this is a 29-footer, but when you fold it up, it tows at 22 feet, and it stores in a 20-foot garage. You pull this pin out, and the tongue will fold right out of the way like that. When you've got it all folded up, the slide is in. It makes it really storable. This is a real neat rig, great for hunters, fishermen, and for a family to go out and have some RV fun. Really nice rig, Trail Manor. We're going to take a quick break. Got a lot more going on here at Motorhead Garage, so don't go away.
This week's industry update, we're featuring Stage 8 locking fasteners. I tell you folks, anytime you need a locking fastener, you want to keep a bolt in place, basically forever, these are the way to go.
Right, they're the world's best locking fastener. They have applications for industrial, for hot rods, for race cars, and here's how it works. You got a really high quality stainless steel bolt. If you look, it's got a nice flange on it, a hex head. Then you have these little tabs. Put the bolt in, tighten up, set the tab on it. That locks. Then all you do is take one of your little E-rings, you put it on there, a little tip, pair of needle nose pliers, and it snaps right in. There you go. Fastener can't come out.
The other thing too is a lot of times, especially with headers, and these are header fasteners here, it's hard to get a socket or a wrench in there between the header.
Or impossible.
Yeah, impossible is at times. But what they've done is they have put a little Allen socket in here, so you can put a ball head Allen wrench in there, get it in there. It makes it easier to get these in and out.
Right, Stage 8 locking fasteners, they'll keep your parts in place.
You want more information about them? All you have to do is go to their website.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by Lincoln Chrome, crafted in the heartland, ready for the world. And by Hurst, America's #1 shifter. And by Bruin Brake Cables, made in the USA, certified. And by Tracker CNC, technology and experience you can trust.
All right, bud, I got my stuff stripped out of here. You doing all right? Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, guess what Sam and I are doing today? You know, you go to the drag strip and you want to do a nice smoky burnout. Unless you got a line lock, that's kind of tough to do. Well, that's what we're installing right here, is a line lock from BNM. It's called their Launch Control. It's a line lock. Pretty simple device to put in there. Take it out, and here's exactly what it looks like. A little solenoid on here. You got to wire it up through your battery and a switch. And what you have to do is tie this into the front brake lines, your two front wheels, those brake lines. You have to get some brake lines, go to the parts store, get you some brake lines, some fittings and stuff, make them up. Of course, every car is different, so you're going to have to make up your own. Little trick I've learned is to get an old coat hanger and bend it so you can make a pattern for the brake line you want. Then once you have that done, then you can cut your brake line, bend it so it'll be right. So you'll be pretty close. Sometimes you have to make some slight adjustments on there. The good idea is to buy a couple of extra brake lines when you're there, because you probably are going to need them so you can get it exactly the way you want it. Anyway, I got all of the old brake lines off. We'll mount this and we'll get the new ones on there. Meanwhile, Sam is working on the electronics.
There's really not much to it. You get a nice set of instructions, and basically with the kit you get a fuse holder. You want to run that really close to the 12-volt supply. So anything in the line that has a short will pop the fuse. It's not a heavy fuse, it's only a 4 amp. Then this will run the 12 volts through the fuse to the switch inside. And of course, there's a switch that'll activate the line lock. We're gonna mount that on the console where this customer wants it. And then from the other side of the switch, we're gonna go out to the solenoid. The solenoid will be grounded. You even get an optional light that comes with it, so when you operate the button and the solenoid's locked, locking your brakes, the light will indicate your line lock's on. In this case, he doesn't want the light. It's real simple. But remember, the 12-volt fuse should be really close to the battery. I'm either gonna pick it up off the back of the alternator or right off the battery positive. And I've run some wires down, took the old coat hanger trick, taped some wires to it. I snuck right through the floor shit cable boot, came up around the firewall. We're in good shape. I got the shift lever cover with the quadrant for the park neutral. This is where I'm gonna mount the button. That way he can just push it down, activate his line lock. I got all the wiring done, hooked up to the battery with a fuse. I'll tie the switch in to the 2 wires in the console, 4 screws, and I'm done.
And I'm almost done. A couple little tips here, though, that I want to pass on. You know, when I was hooking this up, one of the things you want to do is when you're using a pipe thread fitting like we have right in here, you want to make sure you put some Teflon tape on there to seal it. Now, you don't do that where the brake lines go in on the brake fittings, but on the pipe thread fitting, you want to do that. The other thing is make sure you have a good ground when you hook this up. We did check that. We had a good ground, so we're in good shape right there. The last thing is once you get it all hooked up, you may have some brake fluid that's bled out through here. You want to spray that down real good with some brake cleaner and then let it dry. Then you can check it, make sure you don't have any leaks. Well, folks, we've run out of time, but you can see what it looks like. We'll see you again next time here on Motorhead